We begin in Germany, where police are continuing to search for a man who killed 3 people in a suspected knife attack in the western city of Solingen. 8 others have been injured, 5 seriously during the incident on Friday. This is what we know so far. Local media is reporting a man randomly stabbed passers-by as the city hosted a festival marking its 650th anniversary. Police have asked local residents to avoid the area and have imposed a security cordon. Here's more from our reporter Jack Surfleet.
An evening of celebration that ended in despair. Shortly before 10 o'clock, as crowds gathered at a street festival in downtown Solingen, police say an unknown perpetrator attacked several people with a knife before fleeing the scene. Solingen is a city in western Germany, around 18 miles west of Düsseldorf. Thousands were on the streets celebrating its history when this tragic event unfolded.
People were running away from the scene. Many were very calm, but so we didn't have a panic, but it was shocking, and everybody who had to see that, I can't imagine what that is like.
The incident prompted a huge initial response from emergency services, with armed officers attending the scene, medical workers treating victims in the streets, and the reported deployment of 40 tactical vehicles to help with the search for the attacker. A cordon remained in place overnight as officers tried to piece together the events of the evening. Their search for the suspect is ongoing.
Also, eine Gefahr, wir gehen von einem Einzeltäter aus, der ist flüchtig.
We would like to have a precise description of the perpetrator. That is difficult. Witnesses are in shock or can't speak at the moment. They're all being looked after. We have to put everything together like a jigsaw puzzle so that we can now expand our search activities and look for the perpetrator.
Reaction so far has been sombre. The city's mayor posted on social media that people are in shock, horror and great grief, and says he has tears in his eyes for those who have died. This latest incident comes just after a week since the German Interior Minister called for tougher measures on knife crime. Last night's attack is likely to only amplify that call, as the city grieves for those it has lost. Jack Surfleet, BBC News.
Our correspondent Damien McGuinness brought us the latest on the search.
So the man is still being searched for. There's still no clear indication who this person was and what the motive may have been. What police have said is that he appears to have stabbed quite randomly a large group of people in the throng at this festival, and that he, according to police, was aiming specifically for the throat of his victims. The numbers of injured have been updated now by police this morning, and it seems that of the 8 injured, 5 are seriously injured, and 3 have died of their injuries. So this is a large incident, and of course it's left the city in shock, because this is a relatively small city. People were there to celebrate the founding of their city, and this was supposed to be a joyous occasion which suddenly descended into chaos. And it was in that chaos that the perpetrator appears to have escaped and is still on the run. That's why police and lots of armed police there's a large team patrolling the city trying to find the perpetrator, and a lot of the city is cordoned off really, with police trying to track down this man still on the run.
And Damien, to your point, people are in shock there. What have we heard from authorities, from officials, politicians there as they react to this news?
Yeah, so a lot of politicians in the region have reacted with real grief, Azadeh. I think what we're seeing here is that people are really thrown by this. The region's president, Hendrik Wüst, called this a senseless act of violence, the most brutal sort of violence. And it comes really on the back of a broader debate here in Germany about knife violence in general. Traditionally, Germany is a relatively peaceful society. You don't really get the sorts of mass shootings you might in other countries. But what there has been over the last few years, there have been a number of high-profile incidents involving knife crime. In June, a 29-year-old police officer died of his injuries after he tried to defend demonstrators who were being attacked by someone carrying a knife. And in 2021, a number of people were injured on a train when someone attacked them with a knife. And this has led to a broader debate among the government of how to crack down on this, and with suggestions such as reducing the size of knives allowed to be carried in public. But others would say those are simply cosmetic measures, and there's a deeper underlying cause that needs to be looked at and debated about why these sorts of things are happening. But of course, right now, here this morning in Germany, the big question is who was the attacker, who is the attacker, and where is this person right now? And that's the real question, because of course the priority is to look after the victims and to hopefully get those who are injured back to health, but also to track down the perpetrator and make sure nothing else happens.